Hello everyone, it's the Archfiend back with another rant video for you guys here today. And for those of you who don't know my rant videos, I'd recommend you go back and watch one or two of them just to see the attitude, if you will, that I present in these. Or don't, you'll probably enjoy this or hate this, whether or not you see some of my previous work. Anyways, I work with no script, I don't rehearse, and I just say whatever's on the top of my mind about a certain subject matter. So let's get to it here today. I entitled this video "The Skinny on Skinny" for a number of reasons. First off, there is a story that broke in the end of December this past year. It was regarding the Starbucks coffee house franchises across the country and across the world for that matter. They introduced a new line of beverages, or actually existing beverages, that were titled under the guise of being skinny drinks. These would be drinks that would use no-fat milk. They would use a non-fructose corn syrup or some non-sugar substance to sweeten it, and they wouldn't use any sort of whipped cream on these beverages. I thought that was a great idea. Starbucks often gets criticized for their high-calorie, high-fat content beverages that they serve to millions of Americans and millions of people worldwide on a daily basis. So I thought that was a great concept. Some people are finding this as a not so good idea. Not so much the idea of it, but the name that Starbucks is using. As I mentioned earlier, these drinks are called skinnies, or skinny versions of what are otherwise high caloric, high fat content beverages. Now, why someone would take offense to a drink being called skinny just absolutely blows my mind. It seems that even some employees are even upset with this. And I actually have a transcript here of what one of the Starbucks employees actually sent to their higher-ups and to the highest executives in the company in hopes that they would rethink this current strategy of selling skinny drinks and call them something else. So, and I'll put the links up here to the left so you guys can see some of what's been in the news lately. So let me just read you a few passages here from her actual complaint. Okay. Now, there's an issue of political correctness that she addresses. She, quote, "Should we start calling drinks with 2% or whole milk and regular syrups fat or obese? Consider what customers online waiting for their turn to order their drink will think if they hear that drink before them being called out as skinny. It leaves the door open for the next person online to be offended." Now, okay, why would a fat person or obese person, to be politically correct, be offended by something being called a skinny? Skinny is desirable. And not only that, who gives a shit what the drink is called? It could be called an ultra fat. Do you think skinny people are going to be offended at that? No. Give me a break. Anyways, let me read some more of her complaint here. Calling a drink skinny could easily be considered a form of size discrimination. This is not exclusive to people who are overweight as a result of their lifestyle or eating habits. There are a number of medical maladies that result in people becoming overweight regardless of eating habits or how they live their lives, and end quote. So yeah, there's medical abnormalities. Yeah, sure, they cause people to get fat. Fine. That's in limited, minute circumstances. And of course, these abnormalities don't exist in countries where their low-calorie, low-fat content diets rule the land. But let's not stay on that one too much, because that just totally kills their argument. Okay, let me just end with a third quote here from her argument. There are partners that are employed by Starbucks who are overweight, and it is ridiculous to think otherwise. Imagine going to work for several hours at a time and hearing the term skinny being called out countless times. It would undoubtedly have a negative effect on the person's self-esteem that may already be low from living in a society that is generally not accepting of people who do not fit the mold of a beautiful person. Okay, so going by her argument, she doesn't want to hear the term skinny being used at work because that's offensive to someone whose poor feelings are so sensitive from the cruel society around her. So, okay, tell me this, honey. Let's say you're an overweight person and you're making strides to lose weight. Should I come up to you and say, boy, you look more and more skinny every day? No, I guess I shouldn't say that because that person might stab me in the neck with a screwdriver because I'm being totally insensitive. So I guess we in society, if we see someone who's losing weight, we should say, boy, you are looking more and more less fat every day. Yeah, because that makes much more sense. According to her argument, that does. People, what is this world coming to? I have to say to the Starbucks organization that if they truly change their ways and just totally disband this line of drinks being called skinny, then Starbucks is the biggest pussy organization out there. I know this world likes to become more and more politically correct every day, but give me a break. Skinny is desirable. Skinny is a sign of good living. Skinny is the way that fat people want to be and what the majority of obese people wish they could be if they had more self-control. And I'm not going to give you the argument because it shouldn't have to qualify me, but yeah, I was fat and I mentioned that in my previous videos. But you know what? That's a moot point. You don't have to be fat to understand what it's like to be fat. You have to be skinny to understand how much life is better to be skinny. And you know what? More products out there should be named skinny, and I hope they do. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents on the situation here, so take it or leave it. This is the Archfiend signing out. I'll be back with another rant for you as soon as possible. Later, people.